Pokemon have insane amounts of HP now. Charizard EX has 330 HP, which is one of the highest HPs a 2-prize Pokemon has ever had. But it's not the highest. The highest is on Tyranitar EX, which also came out in the Obsidian Flames set. It has 340 HP, which is absolutely insane, and 2 really strong attacks as well. Charizard is the Terra EX that's getting all the love, but Tyranitar EX is actually very underrated and strong into a lot of the meta right now. What is going on, everybody? Hitmonchanning here, back again with another Pokemon trading card game online deck tech, and we're here on PTCG Live talking about Tyranitar EX. But before we get into the deck list, I want to say thank you to the sponsor of the video, PTCGL Store. Head on over to ptcgostore.com and get your code cards by using code HITMON to get 5% off your order. It helps me out and you get a good discount on a good quality product. So thank you again to you for supporting me and to the sponsor of the channel, PTCGL Store. Now, with all that's said and done, back into the video. Tyranitar EX. Super cool Pokemon. It's lightning type, it uses fighting type energies to attack, it's got 340 HP, which is just absolutely insane. With that Mountain Hurl attack, 1 energy for 120 damage, but you have to discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Nothing crazy. However, Lightning Rampage for 2 fighting energy does 150 plus 100 more if your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them. Now, we're pairing that with Lucario from Brilliant Stars today with the Roaring Resolve ability, which lets you put 2 damage counters on itself, and then you search for fighting energy and attach it to this Pokemon. There's a lot of cool combos that we can do in this deck. For example, we can, use Tyranitar's Lightning Rampage by going for Roaring Resolve, putting a fighting energy on Lucario, using our copy of Energy Switch to put that fighting energy on Tyranitar, attach an energy from our hand, and we're good to go, all in one turn. We also have one of the Tyranitar from Paldea Evolve with that route attack. It's Darkness type, so it hits Gardevoir and Mew for weakness, and it does 30 plus 30 more for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That's going to one-shot anything that's Darkness type weak in the meta. And now Lightning is a good type to be as well, obviously, because you hit Lugia for weakness. We also have a good single price attacker in this Lucario. This deck can basically handle anything. Pupitar is another good Pokemon in this deck because we only have 1 of it, but its Crashing Bullet attack does 20 to the active and 20 to each bench Pokemon, yours and your opponent's, which can be very good against decks that, Pokemon that will put a lot of damage counters on them. For example, cards like Gardevoir. Like, you usually will attach a lot of energy to Psychic Embrace, leaving a lot of damage counters on those Pokemon. Crashing Bullet can do a bunch of damage everywhere really quickly and surprise your opponents, quite frankly. We're also playing a 2-2 line of Bidoof and Bibarel as well as 1 Manaphy, 1 Skwovet, and we have one of the new Cleffa as well for Grasping Draw, which will let us draw cards so we have 7 in our hand for no energy, and it's a free retreater. So very good. In terms of our items and such, playing 1 Escape Rope and 1 Switch, as well as 4 Nest Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Rare Candies, so we can get our Pokemon into play quickly and efficiently. We have 1 Super Rod to get our energies back, as well as 2 Colress, 1 Research, 2 Boss, 4 Iono, and 1 Raihan. On top of that, we're playing 2 copies of Path to the Peak because none of our Pokemon have Rule Box abilities in this deck. So I think it's very important to abuse the power of Path to the Peak right now. And I think that's basically it. I already talked about our energy switch. Energy-wise, we got 9 fighting and 2 luminous energy in order to use both of our Tyranitar's attacks and Lucario's attack very easily and efficiently. That's going to be my deck list. I think this deck is a ton of fun and actually way stronger than people give it credit for. So we're going to hop into some games, get some dubs with Tyranitar EX. We get to call the coin flip. Tails never fails. That's what I always say. We're going to flip that coin. It's going to be heads, and our opponent's going to get to choose to go first or second. This deck, I think, very heavily wants to go first. I think this deck, there's no real redeeming quality of this deck going second. Even though you have access to supporters, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth going second here. Thankfully, we do start Cleffa. That's the only redeeming factor of this hand. You can play down a lot of cards in this hand. It looks like we're playing against a Charizard deck. Go figure. And yeah, this is okay. We have Pupitar, so we can still start getting set up. We got an Ultra Ball. So, okay, we're going to see what happens here. They're starting Arceus, which, honestly, Arceus is the one card you don't want them to get down. You can have them get down to Charmander, but Arceus is the most annoying to deal with. However, Obviously, them playing Arceus, not knowing exactly what we're playing, means that Roaring Resolve Lucario can put in a good chunk of work here. Something that we would like to find here as well is Path to the Peak, if we could find a path. But they don't get a Charmander down, which is good. So, and we actually have a pretty solid setup here. We're going to go for this Artisan. We're going to grab ourselves a Riolu. We have Bibarel, we have Tyranitar. We got everything we could ask for right now. I'm going to Ultra Ball away Pupitar and Manaphy just to reduce the hand size. Grab Tyranitar, because we're going to want to absolutely start getting some of our big HP Pokemon up here. And now we can just Grasping draw 4 cards. And that's going to put us in a way better position than we were last turn. I'm just curious what we're going to see now. Like, with a hand like this, there's a Radiant Charizard coming down, not going to do too much. They're going to Artisan. Now they're probably going to get Charmander or Pidgey. Charmander makes sense. We do thankfully have Boss here. And now, if they don't get Arceus V-Star, never mind. My bad. Nothing to say about that. Nothing to say about that. I don't know. They could have gone for the Starbirth and grabbed a Pokemon to Rare Candy. Another Charmander down. The only thing about Tyranitar EX is it doesn't have any spread options. So in situations like this, you can't really deal with these Charmanders individually. But we can go into Tyranitar, have him tank a hit, do more damage, tank a hit, while we power up Riolu in the back. And with Riolu powering up, then we can do a big one-hit KO on Charizard EX. It'll take 6 energy to get onto that Charizard EX, but it'll be worth it. There's a Bibarel coming down. I'm curious if they get a Pidgey down as well. No Charizard EX coming in sight. So what's good about that is we can actually boss up a Charmander. They're not going to attach a double turbo here. That's interesting. I wonder why they did that, to be honest with you. But anyways, we have a lot of options against Charizard to change our prize trade, to make the game a lot more dynamic. We have Tyranitar plus Rare Candy in hand. We have Energy, we have Path. We're solid. If they don't Starbirth here, never mind. They did Starbirth. But because we have Path to the Peak, we're going to be in a good spot. I'm very confident, especially because Cleffa's not getting knocked out. I mean, it doesn't matter because we would just promote Larvitar anyway. But I don't know why they didn't go for the double turbo. I don't think it would have mattered too much, though. Regardless of my yapping, we're going to Rare Candy Tyranitar right away. Put that Luminous Energy on there. We can also use Artisan. Go and grab... I'm probably going to grab Larvitar here. Skwovet, not so much. We want to Ultra Ball. And do we want to boss up a Charmander? That's the question. I mean, at the end of the day, we only want to be taking down 2 prize Pokemon while they can't take us down. So we don't really want to. We'd rather Ultra Ball, get ourselves Lucario, start getting Lucario powered up, see if we can find Choice Belt. That's more of the motive, because then we can use Choice Belt to knock out this Arceus V-Star one shot with Tyranitar EX, which is really, really strong. So we're going to start getting these energies on Lucario, start getting it powered up, drop that Path to the Peak, and we'll go for the Colress Experiment. Get Ultra Ball. Raihan, I don't suspect us needing, but Path is also good to have. Basically, these are going to be cards that we discard with Ultra Ball anyways, so I'm guessing we should just do this. Like, it genuinely does not matter. We don't play a PAL pad, and we're going to go for an Ultra Ball so we can get a Bibarel. So that's fine. Like, that's okay. There's nothing to complain about there. We'll grab Bibarel, put Bibarel down, and we'll go for the Industrial Synthesizers. Give me that Choice Belt. Don't get the Choice Belt, but we do get another Larvitar, which is good. So we can retreat into Tyranitar here. And unfortunately, Lightning Rampage only does 250. We really would have liked to get Choice Belt off of that. Like, oh, that would have been a lot better. But still, two-shotting this Arceus isn't terrible. It's whatever. They have Rare Candy into Charizard, but guess what? No, my friend. Path to the Peak is going to stop that from happening, which means that no Infernal Rain for you, which is good for us. Another Charmeleon is going to come online, so they can easily evolve Charizard after. They don't have access to Starbirth right now. They have Double Turbo, so they definitely misplayed that earlier. I've done the same. I'm not going to knock them for it. I've done the same. It's still, the game is still salvageable, even if that didn't happen. and they're gonna hit us in our Trinity Nova. Thankfully, they can't power up Charizard though, because we have Path to the Peak. They can't use Starbirth because we have Path to the Peak. So they're basically in like solo energy power up mode, except for that benched Arceus, if they decide to go for the Trinity Nova that way. And if that is the case, then that's fine. Anyways, yeah, they're gonna power up Arceus V. That's okay. If they go for the Power Edge, they're still not knocking us out. Keep that in mind. They need to use Arceus V-Star. Now, we do get Rare Candy Tyranitar once more, so we can get another Tyranitar online. What we do want to do, though, is start Roaring Resolve and powering this, like, Lucario up. This Lucario needs to get absolutely, like, insanely powered up here. We'll attach to it as well, and we can just Industrious Incisors. We don't want to Iono them just yet. We get Riolu, we get Rope. None of this really helps. We did get rid of Pupitar, I believe. Yeah. None of this really helps, so I guess we'll just leave the hand. I don't want to Iono them. So yeah, we'll just go for Lightning Rampage, and we'll just take a knockout on Arceus V-Star here. We do have Energy Switch as well, so we can still Energy Switch an energy off of Tyranitar and put it on to our other one, into our other Tyranitar. So yeah, my plan anyways, they can come up and they can power adjust. Even if they knock us out, they're still going to get knocked out by Roaring Resolve Lucario. That's okay. That is a-okay with me. Now, I'm just kind of curious how we're going to play this hand down, right? There's a Fire Energy on their Charizard EX. They're probably looking to tank a hit on Radiant Zard. Or they can go for Switch. They're going to bring up Charizard EX. That's not exactly going to help them too much, though, considering they are unable to attack with it, unless they play Raihan or something like that. Another Arceus V-Star coming down, which means Roaring Resolve Lucario is going to do its absolute best. And they research away 2 rare candies and a Pidgeot. It's really unfortunate for sure. There's another Charmander coming into play, but I don't think that'll even be able to get up there. There's the pass. Okay. So maybe I should have honestly gone for the... I should have gone for the Iono, trying to find boss for the next turn. That's alright. We're going to Roaring Resolve. Now we have enough to knock anything out here. So what I want to do, I don't even want to hit into this Charizard. I literally just want to Escape Rope here. See what they bring up. If they bring up Arceus, Lucario comes through. If they bring up Charmander, that's fine. We're going to go with the Cleffa, we're going to retreat. That's like literally 0% a problem. I'm going to go into our Tyranitar once again. And now we want to Iono here, and we want to find a way to get more energies into play. I mean, we do get another energy, which is good. We do get boss, which is even better. So we can attach this to Tyranitar, and we can go for Industrious Incisors, drawing 2 more cards. Your Realm Fighting Energy is solid. We just want to Lightning Rampage and take out that Charmander here. So now Arceus V-Star is going to be able to knock us out, but thankfully our Lucario is going to be able to come through and knock out that Arceus V-Star, and then it's just a matter of time before we're able to win the game. They have 6 prizes, we've got 3 remaining, so it's not too shabby at all. Yeah, we're really kind of just waiting to see what happens. They're finally getting their Pidgey down, but again, I don't think it's possible for them to use it. They have all their rare candies in the discard pile, which is really good for us because it means 1 Charizard only, so we can boss around it however we please. Yeah, this Lucario is going to be putting in some work for sure with Aura Sphere Volley. We're basically doing, we only need 3 energy to knock it out, so I'm going to try and energy switch off of it, if possible, to our other Tyranitar. Another Charizard EX coming into play, which is completely a-okay. An energy going on to that Charizard EX. And we're going to get Iono'd here. A little unfortunate because we did have the boss in hand, but we have another turn to get boss. And we have another Lucario, which I don't want to research that away. I want the other Lucario to stay in my hand. Or in possession, I should say. I really don't want that Lucario to get researched. But we might have to, unfortunately. There's a Trinity Nova, which is going to knock out this Tyranitar. They take their first 2 prizes. Thankfully, Lucario is going to come through. We do have a Rod still, so it's possible. We're going to leave Cleffa because it's got free retreat. Very nice. And there's our other Tyranitar. So we're going to do this. And we'll Industrious first, see what we can draw into. We get Belt, which is also really good, because that lets us knock out this Arceus V-Star. Honestly, I think that might be the play. Yeah, that's definitely the play. Moving Resolve, get another energy, on it. Because if we get 6 energy, we can knock out Charizard EX. So that's 100% the play right here. Because now we can retreat into Tyranitar. We can take out Arceus easily. We can also Iono them to, to 4, limiting their hand, like very, very, very largely limiting it. I want to Nest Ball and grab this Riolu as well, just so we have another backup attacker if we need it. And now we're going to go into Lightning Rampage, and we're going to do 280 exactly and take out that Arceus. Now, all we need to do is attack Lucario, and we win. The way this is going to go is I'm going to tell you right now. There's a Super Rod, which makes things even easier. They can come up with Charizard, and they can knock out Tyranitar, I believe. I think they're doing 300. No, they can't. They're doing 330. They can't even knock out Tyranitar. That is insane. That is so insane. They can't knock out Tyranitar here. Wow. Okay. So that's good for us. They can't knock out Tyranitar. We just come up with Lucario and we one-hit KO. They're 10 damage off. We need to find a switching card. We have our switch still. Okay. They're just gonna concede. Yeah, I figured. Being top deck boss. What a game. That showcases the power of Tyranitar EX. 2 Terras from the same set. Charizard, obviously very strong. Tyranitar, very underrated, I will say. Our opponent is calling the coin flip. They chose tails, so heads always shreds for us. And we are hopefully going to get to go first. Love to go first. Going first is great. All I want to see here is 2 basics. 2 basics that aren't Manaphy. That's all I want to see. I got my wish. Got my wish. Going first, we're doing okay. We could go for a Cleffa play next turn, depending on what we draw. If we draw ourselves a Luminous, I do want to use this Tyranitar to start. And it's going to be Palkia. Interesting. We get a Fighting Energy, so we can get Riolu. We can Nest Ball. Should we grab Cleffa? But, like, nah, we don't need to grab Cleffa. No way. We'll attach this to Riolu. Pass. I have faith. I do have faith that we're going to be able to get to use the route Tyranitar against Palkia specifically. They always bench a lot of Pokemon. This Pokemon can do basically 180 damage for free for 1 Luminous Energy. So, granted I didn't check if we had Luminous in the deck, but we should be okay. And the reason I want to do that is I want to... Tyranitar has a lot of HP. So for a single prize, it's got 180. So I really do want to put pressure on them to burn a lot of their resources to knock it out. So here's a Mew coming down with Radiant Greninja. This leads me to believe that this is Chien-Pao, not Chien-Palkia, like Palkia being the main attacker instead of Chien-Pao. But we're gonna see. Oh, it's there's a Finizen. Okay, so it's Palafin. Okay. Very important then that we get to attack with this Tyranitar because we can offset the prize trade. There's a Chien-Pao coming down as well, which is very different. We get concealed cards. And the funny part about this is that we actually, if they full bench, we could have knocked out that Palkia with Tyranitar. Could have, if they full benched. That's crazy. That's insane. But hopefully we'll be able to take out this Mew here and limit them from getting a big, limit them from getting an established board. There is a Escape Rope coming out for next turn from that Mysterious Tail, which is going to probably lead into a pass if I were to guess. Yeah, makes sense. So we're going to see what we draw here. We get Path, which is good. So I think I want to Rare Candy here. I do want a Path. And unfortunately, just leave that Tyranitar in the active. I don't want to give them that free switching out to use Palafin, but we should have grabbed Cleffa. I got way too greedy. We should have grabbed Cleffa for sure. That would have made things a little bit more manageable. They get the Ultra Ball, which isn't good for us. But now they do need to go for an Escape Rope. They need to get energies on Palafin somehow. They can't use Palkia V-Star, so a little bit of tomfoolery is going to ensue. They're going to attach to Palkia here, and they might just pass, honestly. Okay, I was going to say there's no real reason to use the Escape Rope. Probably worth going into Bidoof, because at least we can get damage on the board with Riolu after. There's no attack possible coming right now. unless they have the absolutely most insane hand ever. They have an Ultra Ball. Okay, but they can't use Palkia V-Star's V-Star power. There are 2 water energies. I personally would have waited until next turn to do that. Again, they can just rule a region and try and find another stadium, unless they don't have another one in deck, unless it's prized. Then we would be cooking, like, for sure. We would absolutely be cooking if they don't have another stadium, because then they're just in top deck mode. But they have Lost City. So now we need to kind of wait and see what we can draw. Research off the top is incredible. So we want to switch into Tyranitar here. We'll attach this and we'll go for the big research. We get the Luminous, which is good, and we get Lucario. So we're in a pretty solid spot right now because we can Nest Ball, we can grab another Larvitar. We can start doing Roaring Resolve. We'll also attach to this Tyranitar. And we're almost getting that knockout. But I did want to start attacking with Tyranitar here. But 180. If they benched another Pokemon, actually we wouldn't have gotten there just yet. We would have been 10 damage shy. But starting a 2-hit KO on this thing is good, because now Roaring Resolve Lucario can knock it out regardless of how many energy it has on it. It can do 130 and take a KO on it, which is good. And they got Irida as well. That's cracked. A good thing too is we're offsetting the prize trade, which is something I keep talking about because this deck is so good at it. It's so good at keeping the prize trade off from what your opponent's doing. They're gonna mention another Finizen here, and they can go for a switch. They might just go for a Palafin attack, which sounds about right. Now they can Star Portal to Palafin, and they can get what's it called? They can put 2 energies on it and 1 energy on the Palkia. Now the thing is here, we're gonna probably have to go for a Roaring Resolve, but we're gonna be a little bit on the back pedal here. There's Justice Kick for 210, which knocks Tyranitar out. And now all we have to do is going to Lucario here. We're definitely taking a KO on this Palafin. Like, either way, we have to. Okay, that's a good start. So what I want to do is Roaring Resolve. This Palafin's absolutely getting knocked out next turn no matter what. Or this Lucario, I mean. So I don't mind putting more damage counters on it. We need to get a Rare Candy. Don't get the Rare Candy is really unfortunate. But we probably should be grabbing Raihan here, so we can guarantee it next turn, no matter what Pokemon we put up. So we'll do that. And now we will Aura Sphere Volley for 190. So now we're actually in a decent spot because we're going to be able to knock out that Palkia. We've knocked out their Palafin. It's Lost Zoned. It's great. This is great. We'll grab our single prize, another Riolu, which is also really good because this Lucario is going to get put into the Lost Zone as well. So we have 4 energy in discard, which isn't great, but it does enable our Raihan, which is really good because we can Raihan just grab a Rare Candy. They're putting another Finizen in play here. They can Shivery Chill, grab themselves, grab a snack, grab a Bev, or 2 water energy. Grab your water energies and go for a concealed cards. And that concealed cards very likely is going to, what's it called? I mean, obviously going to draw them cards, but I don't think that they're going to actually be able to get a, never mind, I was wrong. I don't think they're going to be able to attack this turn. Maybe I was right because they went into Mew. I genuinely think that getting that Palkia V-Star a turn earlier is what hurt them, because they have so much energy in the discard pile where they could have just had exactly the amount that they needed, and they could have attacked in the same turn. They do have another energy, they're spreading out their energy, and that's going to be all that they do here. Now, we get the Rare Candy off the top, which is great. Here comes Tyranitar EX, and what we can do is we can actually boss up Palkia, because we're going to Roaring Resolve. We got 1 energy left in deck, that's fine, because now Raihan's going to be able to help us. In the other turn, we can attach here, we'll bench Riolu, and now I want to boss up this Palkia, take more prize cards. 130 damage, which is more than enough that we need to do. And it gets put in the Lost Zone. So now we're really solid. We just need to get another Lucario online. We get Nest Ball, we get Iono. Raihan's going to let us get another Lucario up too, so that's good. I didn't check if it was prized, our Lucario, but it shouldn't be. I think we should be okay. We do need to get Rod back though. That's the main concern. And now, see, PAL is interesting in these decks because you can obviously get your energy out. You can get your energy out for your Palafin, for your Palkia. But how do you switch it effectively? I mean, I guess the logic makes sense because you have a bunch of switches for Palafin, but It's like you should almost just be working on building the board rather than finding the energies to help you build the board, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So anyways, we're just going to be waiting for our opponent to kind of decide how they do this here. If this Chen Pao doesn't leave the active, we're in a really solid spot, kind of, because we really need to get Lucario out now, because it doesn't have a way to attack. Okay. I got my plan. It's gonna involve some tomfoolery for sure. There's an EXP share going to the Finizen. There's an Escape Rope. Okay, that's fine then. Now we're just gonna give this Riolu 100%. Because we can just attach retreat it. We should have double switch left still. There's Palafin. There's the one I need. Okay. You can attack my Riolu all you want. That's fine. The Justice Kick, that's okay. Because now we can just kind of shred with Tyranitar. We also have access to Raihan. So we should be okay. We should be A-okay right now. I do want to get a Rod, though. Because I want a Raihan here. I do want to grab Rod. Because the next turn I can just Iono. I mean, I'd be Ionoing to 2. But again, because Roaring Resolve Lucario powers itself up. And with 3 energy on it can knock out a Palafin. I think it's worth it to continuously utilize it and take advantage of it. I mean, we can only use 1 more Roaring Resolve, but that's okay. We're gonna grab Nest Ball. We could actually just grab another Skwovet. We have only 1 Bidoof, so I don't want to grab that. We could grab Skwovet. We'll also grab Cleffa. My only reservation with Cleffa is that they could go for a Jet Punch and knock it out immediately, which is kind of scary. But it does give us a free pivot, so I think it's kind of worth grabbing Cleffa. I do want to Nest Stash here because we're not going to be having that much of a hand anyway. Getting a Fighting Energy is also good because we can use that on Lucario, so even if the Jet punches, we can attack. And now we're going to Lightning Rampage. It's weak to Lightning and we're Lightning, so we do 500 damage to it, which is absolutely insane. I forgot about that we can actually KO Palkia with our attack for free because it's Lightning weak, so that's good. And yeah, the good thing about this is that there's 0% chance Tyranitar EX gets knocked out this turn. One of its greatest strengths for sure. So they can do basically whatever they want as long as we're able to take a KO after a KO with one of our Pokemon will be okay. They're going to Iono us once again, Ionoing us to 2 cards. Oh well, that's fine with me. We get Pupitar and we get Bidoof. Pupitar's not bad because we can spread some damage on their side. It's not particularly relevant though. And we're really just kind of struggling to find a Bibarel at this point. We really wanted our Bibarel a couple turns ago. Thankfully, it can't get KO'd on the bench, so they can't get put through a Jet Punch play. They're going to switch into Palafin, and I'm guessing the Jet Punch is going to be what they go for. Or sorry, the Justice Kick is going to be what they go for, even though the Jet Punch could net them a prize card on that Cleffa. So, yeah, now I'm curious. We get Colress, which is good. So we'll Pupitar here. I don't want to Roaring Resolve in case they use the Jet Punch. So we'll Colress's Experiment. We got Bibarel. We got Lucario. We don't need Lucario. Could grab... Oh, actually, just grab Rare Candy. Even could grab Rope. Rope could be solid too here. Rope could be really solid as well. Because we'll throw a Bibarel down. And... I guess we didn't need Rare Candy, so I'm going to Nest Stash. Rope can be very solid to keep in the future if they put something up. We do have Energy Switch as well, which is good. So, well, Industrious Incisors. Absolutely, first and foremost. Luminous Energy is good, so we can throw that on Pupitar. We can Ultra Ball, I just don't want to quite yet. I just want to Lightning Rampage. Like, not much I want to do here. Just want to take that KO. Now we've basically put ourselves in a position where we win the game no matter what. They can take a multi-prize KO, but it's only going to be like a max of 2 prizes. That Finizen is going to have to put in like a mega amount of work in order to kind of help close up the game. There's the Palafin. They just need an Energy plus Switch. If they have it, they're kind of chilling. So Mew is going to Mysterious Tail and try and find something mysterious. Ultra Ball, if they have Lumineon, could be useful for them as well. Again, I'm more so kind of just curious how they're going to try and close the game out here by a concede. Yeah, that works well for us, honestly. That's our deck did what it wanted to do, and I think that's one of the best ways that we can showcase it. Our opponent is calling the coin flip here. They chose heads, so tails never fails. Look at that. We absolutely want to go first here because we have a lot of evolution Pokemon in this deck that we want to get down very quickly, very efficiently. So we're going to see what exactly our game plan is going to be. We start with Larvitar, which is pretty good. We can attach to it at the very least, and then we can Iono or Colress next turn, depending on what we draw. If we draw, for example, a nothing that helps us evolve, then I'm going to probably go for the Iono. Get Nest Ball, which is good as well. We definitely want to be grabbing Bidoof here. We have Larvitar, we have Riolu, we have Skwovet. We have basically everything we're going to need here. We did prize, what's it called? What do we prize? Actually, nothing too important, which means a bunch of our energies are probably prized. Yeah, we prized 3 fighting energy, for sure. So we're going to just put a Luminous on here, and we're just going to pass. Yeah, next turn, I'm definitely going to go for the Iono and try and get the Rare Candy T-Tar immediately, because Charizard can't one-shot it. Granted, we can't one-shot them, but we can use Roaring Resolve Lucario to put a bunch of single prize pressure on them, which is something that's very, very important to know. They just have their Charmander right now. They don't have any Arceus, they don't have any Pidgeys. Another thing is Roaring Resolve Lucario can one-shot Arceus, offsetting our prize trade. So they're going to attach a basic energy to this Charmander, and this could be a Charizard EX hand, because Charizard EX is inconsistent at times. They're going to go to a Fire Energy and a Switch, grabbing an Arceus V. Good for us. We want that Arceus V in play because we want to be able to knock out that Arceus V with our Roaring Resolve Lucario. Now, having to Iono them here might suck, depending what we top deck. It all depends on the top deck here, for sure. So we're going to see what we get. We get a Pupitar. I'm debating going for the Colress here. I don't think it's worth it. Now, we could prep these 2 Pokemon. I don't know what they have in their hand. Giving them more options isn't good, though. Do we go for the Colress here? We need energy plus... Yeah, we need too much. We're going to go for the Iono. We need way too much in order to make that effective. We need to go for the Iono here. We really want to get... We got the Rare Candy T-Tar, so we made the right call. So we're going to Rare Candy into Tyranitar. And we can bench the Larvitar, bench the Skwovet, we can Nest Ball and grab ourselves a Riolu. And now, I definitely want to Nest Stash and try and find another fighting energy, if possible. Wow. So we're in top deck mode, but we're in a great spot because we can Lightning Rampage, take out that Charmander, and I didn't want to Mountain Hurl, even though we still would have got the knockout, because I didn't want to discard cards of our deck when we have so little cards in our hand. You know what I mean? Here, we could potentially win the game if we can get Lucario out. They're going to go for a Nemona, draw 3. Honestly, sometimes a straight draw 3 isn't bad, but you're going to want to be using like Avery and stuff like that. They got more Arceus on the bench. Doesn't look like they have the best hand here, which makes things a lot better for us as we can start preparing the rest of our Pokemon here. We're going to Industrious Incisors, draw 5 cards. We get Pupitar, which we're absolutely going to bench as well. We also have Path, which is good. And yeah, we'll Iono them too, put their hand size down a little bit more. And look at that, our setup is absolutely insane. We're actually doing really well right here. No way to, oh, looks like they froze in an interesting position. Okay. We can look at their prizes. All right, that's cool. We can't play anything. Iono's just stuck there. Okay, never mind. We're good. As I was saying, we can't one-shot this Arceus unless we find ourselves a Lucario. But Nest Stash is going to get us that Lucario. I already know it's going to. See? Never mind. We're just going to go for the Lightning Rampage here. It would have been good if we could get Lucario online. That way we could just one-shot the Arceus, one-shot all these other Pokemon easily. However, doing two-shotting them isn't too bad. Another Charmander coming out and a Manaphy means I'm going to kind of want to try and get that Charmander bossed up here. But they're going to get Pidgey as well. And now this is like the board you want to see. They're going to Super Rod back their other Charmander and energies that they got discarded. And now they might be stuck because of that path to the peak. So from here we have Raihan, which isn't too needed. So we're just going to go right for a Nest Stash and put these to the bottom of the deck, draw an additional card, which is Fighting Energy. We'll put this on Riolu, and we'll go for Industrious Incisors, drawing full 5 cards. We get the Ultra Ball. and we get Boss. I don't want to use any of these just yet, actually. I think I do want to just boss up this Charmander, and I want to take it up Lightning Rampage. I don't want to get rid of my hand, I just want to see how my opponent responds first. Because, you know, I don't want to Ultra Ball away any of these cards in general. If they put something up, like, okay, I don't know, if they were going to put up a Manaphy and try and stall, I wanted to have that Escape Rope, or if they were going to put something up that gives them a better board state, I would want to Iono them and get rid of that card. But it looks like they're in a very tough position right now, so there's really no need to do any of that. We'll attach this to Riolu. We can afford to Ultra Ball. At this point, we can get rid of, I guess, Escape Rope and Iono. We don't really want to Iono them. We'll grab ourselves Roaring Resolve. Now we're going to be doing enough damage to one-shot them indefinitely. The good thing about Roaring Resolve too is it puts the damage counter on before it actually searches for the energy. So even if you don't have energy in deck, you can still Roaring Resolve, which is really, really good to know. Now here we're going to research, and we're going to draw a clean 7. Do get another Ultra Ball, which we're going to absolutely use. And we'll get rid of this Bibarel, and we could even just grab this T-Tar and Rare Candy into it here. We can Rare Candy into that guy, and now Luminous Energy can be effective on there. And we'll Nest Sash here. This is one of the most insane parts of this deck, is when it gets set up, you can draw a crazy amount of cards. Like, look how much of our deck we just went through there. Like, that's insane. We also have the Ultra Ball to get our other Tyranitar. Anyway, we just Lightning Rampage here, and with a setup like this, we have Switch, we have Lucario, there's like almost nothing our opponent can do, because we've like checkmated them in every possible scenario. So we can knock them out with this Lucario. We can use our other Tyranitar EX if we really need to. Like, we've just kind of steamrolled through this game, because, I don't know, Tyranitar is so good, it's so daunting that sometimes you just can't knock it out. You can even go for a tanky build of Tyranitar, where you play the full face guard that makes Pokemon without abilities take 20 less. You can get an effective 360 HP, and if you can somehow reduce Charizard's damage as well, you can basically give yourself, like, a lot of funny things. They're going to judge us here. Still not finding that out to path as well, which means they can't Starbirth. That's okay. That judge doesn't really matter too much because we just run Resolve. They're going to attach to Arceus V here. Do they have anything? They have the Ultra Ball for the V-Star, but they are unfortunately unable to go for Starbirth to try and protect themselves in any way. So that's just going to be the game here. They can Trinity Nova, unless they try and retreat. If they try and retreat, maybe they'll be okay. But because of that awesome path to the peak, it's just a Trinity Nova for 200, which isn't enough, unfortunately. So Lightning Rampage, look at this, for 2 energy. We're going to be doing a whopping 280 damage. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd. 280 damage for 2 energy. That's almost unheard of in the Pokemon TCG. We take the dub with Tyranitar EX. So what did you think of my Tyranitar EX deck? This deck is insanely fun to play, and I think it's actually really strong right now because of its monstrous HP. It can do well against Lost Box, surviving 2, even 3 hits at a time, even Giratina. The only issue against the Giratina matchup is that they could just Star Requiem you, and then your Tyranitar instantly gets knocked out. But once we have a way to prevent a Star Requiem, maybe we get a big Parasol reprint, we will actually, Tyranitar EX will be seeing a lot of play. I feel like it's really strong, especially with Roaring Resolve Lucario being your like damage modifier, as well as its own attacker that can do a crazy amount of damage and knock out anything. Like, Lucario is the reason I've won a couple Charizard games, is because you just keep Roaring Resolve every turn, you get to Aura Sphere Volley and just do a big knockout on a Charizard EX. So I think the time is coming for Tyranitar EX, and I think it is really, really good. If I were to change anything from the deck, I don't know if I would. I think that the deck is actually really consistent and all your lines are good. I'd like to fit more Paths in here because Path is just such a good card in the meta right now. But other than that, I think the deck is really solid. So thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below, what do you think of the deck? Do you like, do you dislike, what do you keep, and what did you change about it? And subscribe to the channel because I am posting many Pokemon trading card game videos every single week. Big thanks to PTCG All-Store for sponsoring the channel once again. And thanks to you all for watching. Until next time, Hitmonchanting out.